what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at my favorite filming spot location because guess what? We have that one compact sports sedan that still is getting a lot of people excited. It's this car right here. This is a 2023 Hyundai Elantra N. But before we get into this turbocharged, manual, slick shifting equipped sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. Hyundai. You'd have to be living under a rock to not know that Hyundai is bringing the business when it comes to not only SUVs and their other vehicles, but also with their performance sub-brand. Now, this particular car is actually owned by not only a Rady's Rides fan, but also a dear friend, Robert, who actually works at Loki Kia. This is his new baby, and he wanted to have her featured on the channel. Now, in this segment, a lot of people have been doing the same thinking that Robert was. He was trying to think about, should I get the Type R? Should I get the GR Corolla? Or should I go with the Elantra N? Well, after a bunch of research, looking at the numbers and everything else between, obviously, we don't have to answer that question for you because you can see he went the Elantra N route. But what I want to do is, if you're in the same predicament that Robert was in, wanting to get a sport compact vehicle, whether it be a hatchback or a sedan, is the Elantra N better for your money over the GR Corolla? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out with Robert's Elantra N. Right off the bat, you have that shape. A lot of people seem to overall be happy with it, but compared to the GR Corolla, it is a lot busier when it comes to all the different angles. Now, at the front of the business, you're gonna get full LED lighting. So of course you got your LED headlights. Love the way they do that triple LED beam setup, and your daytime running lamps. And they go really aggressive on the front end, especially how that flat black section extends down. You do have functional corner air curtains. The only challenge is this large area that is not functional, and we are gonna have to zonk that. Now, when you're comparing it to the GR Corolla has a wider body overall when you're comparing the two, but definitely when it comes to uniqueness, I think this Elantra N has a lot more unique features to it. Now, as we come across the front, you have that blacked out grille area. Like I said, very angular with the shapes, full functionality, the N badge, which is gonna be that performance sub-brand, just like GR on the Corolla or STI, when Subaru used to make the WRX STI. It's that performance sub-brand and really does the business not only in the top section, but even down below. This aggressive splitter really extends down. You got the little bit of red trim, and that is a color of the N brand, is that bright red that they kind of bring accent-wise throughout the whole vehicle. But this is functional to give us downforce, get extra air for the large intercooler. Now, when we get up on that low-slung hood, this is where it has a little bit more sportier style than the GR Corolla. GR Corolla is more of that stubby hatchback, that hot hatch design with the wide fender flares. This has a longer hood section that actually comes down lower than the GR Corolla. No functional hood scoop or anything like that. You have your V for victory formation on the hood. I just wish they would have blacked out the Hyundai badge, or at least made it black chrome. But you know what? On the GR Corolla, the Toyota badge is still bright silver as well. So we'll call that even Stevens. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So what you're gonna find on the Elantra N are these 19-inch wheels, machined aluminum. Now, what's interesting when you look at the GR Corolla, especially we're looking at the core trim, we're not gonna compare it to the Morizo, that wouldn't be fair. The GR Corolla core trim comes with 18-inch wheels. So something to think about. This has a 19-inch wheel, so it's a little bit larger in diameter and size. You are getting those upgraded brake calipers, but they're not Brembos. So if you go GR Corolla, you get the Brembo spec calipers. If you option the performance package, which I'm gonna say, don't buy a GR Corolla unless it has the optional performance package that gets you the brakes, that gets you the limited slip diffs. This has upgraded brakes, but the engineers at Hyundai told me they did not think that it needed to go the Brembo route to even have more braking capability. They said that these calipers do the job. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about the calipers on this Elantra N. I do like the way they're bright red and they have the M badge. That kind of makes a nice cohesive design. You'll notice that the Elantra N does get larger rotors than your standard Elantra, and it is front wheel drive. So that's another big comparison is, remember, the GR Corolla is all wheel drive. This is front wheel drive. Are there benefits to a front wheel drive over an all wheel drive? We'll talk about that, but the great news is you do have a limited slip diff, and we do have those Pilot Sport 4S tires. So these are a summer performance radial over an all season. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of this tire? You're looking at 245 on the width, 35 series on the sidewall. Now, as we come down the side, you do get your gloss black on your mirror caps. You do have your turn signals built in. You'll notice along the bottom, the extra arrow that is functional with the N logo stamped in there runs along the whole sill of the side of the vehicle. Like I said, that tied in with the front and with the rear arrow gives you more downforce. Now, the thing I was talking about with the crazy shapes is all the triangular shapes going on in lines. And if I was a body repair person, I would hate to get one of these to have to try to line everything back up, especially if it has been an accident. Just something to think about. On the manual equipped, there is no sunroof. And if you're going GR Corolla, there's no sunroof either. Coming towards the rear, you'll notice the large area gloss black. I do zonk this. They should have made this a rear quarter window, but I like the way they put the vortex generators to clean the air as it comes towards the rear. And as we swing around, definitely they did a great job with the lighting. So you have your LED taillights, very, very angular in their shape. You're gonna have this trunklet spoiler, which is funky looking, but it does do the business of giving us extra downforce at the back. And then, like I said, up at the front, they should have made all the badging either black or a dark chrome finish. Let me know how you feel about this shiny chrome stuff, but you do have your M badge. That definitely, like I said, this is a true N performance vehicle. And on the bottom portion, I absolutely love the back of the car on the lower portion. This rear diffuser is magnificent. Love the way you got your one exhaust tip on each side, nice large oval opening slash cut. And even the way that they did this Formula One-esque fog lamp down below in the center area looks really great. But wait until we hear the sound of this, especially compared to the GR Corolla. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk numbers between the new Elantra N and the GR Corolla. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on Robert's Elantra N. It does have a prop rod. We're not gonna zonk it because guess what? The GR Corolla also has a prop rod, so that's even Stevens as well. I do like the way it's far over to the passenger side, but it's underneath the hood is what really we're looking at. Of course, we have that engine cover, tasteful with the M badge, but just like Vin Diesel said in Fast and the Furious 27, it's not about the engine cover, it's about what's underneath the cover. And what do we got? We got a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine producing 276 horsepower, 289 pound-feet of torque. Now, the one thing to get out of the way is that with the Elantra N, if you don't want to row through your own gears like Robert does, you don't have to, because you could get a 6-speed manual or an 8-speed DCT. On the GR Corolla, you cannot get an automatic transmission. Just something to be aware of. 0 to 60 in this car, if you know how to dance on your twinkle toes, is 5 seconds flat. Top speed is 155 miles per hour. MPGs, 20 in the city, 30 on the highway. The vehicle, like I said, does have a limited slip diff, and the vehicle weighs about 3,200 pounds. Now, if you're comparing this to the GR Corolla, that has a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 3. So that's a 3-cylinder engine putting out 300 horsepower, not as much torque. 273 pound-feet of torque with the 6-speed and the all-wheel drive. If you know how to do the dance, 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds, and the top speed is governed to 143 miles an hour. And if you're comparing weight, it weighs a little bit more than a couple hundred pounds over this vehicle. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up, because I think you're gonna have a little bit of an eargasm with this Elantra N. Let's do it. All right, guys, we're inside Robert's Elantra N. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I want an Elantra N, but I also want a GR Corolla. Obviously, price really is going to come down to it. And trust me, when you say that, you're not alone, especially in today's market with the actual dealer adjustment value being added to the price of vehicles. The great news is, where Robert bought this vehicle from Crown Hyundai, no markup. So you're looking at an MSRP right around $32,000. If you're comparing that to the GR Corolla, remember, with the performance package, the core model is right around $38,000. And the chance of you finding one with no dealer markup is way less than an Elantra N. So something to take into consideration. But why don't we see how it stacks up to the Toyota product? To the door panels. I like what they've done with the Alcantara material. That really gives it a nice extra sporty feel and gives it a sense of quality, even though the rest of the door panel is as hard as a plastic rock. The good news is no gloss black around the switchgear. But like I said, the bad news is that armrest is not a place where you're going to want to rest your arm as a passenger or on this side as the driver. You do have a decent sized door pocket, but you are going to have to share the pocket size with your drink. So maybe just one Whopper and a Mr. Pibb, and that's it. We got the Bose sound system, but then going from the door panel to the dash, it's interesting because it gets a little softer on the dash. I wish they would have put this material on the door panel. Sliding on over, this is the biggest plus. I like the way the infotainment system is set up in the Elantra N better than the GR Corolla. Not only is it larger, so this is a 10.25 inch screen compared to an 8-inch screen. As you can see in N mode, you got a lot of nice information that you could have displayed, including two important things: oil temp and engine temp. And then you could go in and custom adjust anything that you need for the custom setups, whether you want more heavier steering, less heavier steering. You could even make adjustments to the electronic limited slip diff, and you got a G meter. So that really is cool. Plus launch control, which the GR Corolla does not have launch control. So something to think about there. Working our way down, you do have dual climate, which is another nice touch. And then you'll notice the plethora of things that Robert has plugged in. I didn't want to mess with his stuff. He's got his Valentine 1 radar detector. Highly recommend a radar detector in this vehicle. You got two USB-As and wireless charging, but it's this right here. This is where the magic happens. That nice 6-speed manual transmission. I feel like the throws between the Elantra N and the GR Corolla are very similar. I do like the way the shift knob is on the Elantra N better than the GR Corolla. It just looks better. And they got that performance blue stitching all over the place. But you're gonna love rowing through that 6-speed. Remember, you could also get an 8-speed DCT. You do have a mechanical e-brake, 2 cup holders. I love the key fob because you got the M badge on it. And then you flip it around, there's your buttons. Definitely better quality key fob than the 1980s plastic one you get with the GR Corolla. A little bit of gloss black. You got your oh crap handle for your passenger here to hold on to. And then the seats. This is really where it blows the GR Corolla right out of the water. These seats are amazing. The blue stitching. Look at the N badge actually lights up. Nice touch with the silver, the Alcantara. Great bolstering, manual adjustment for the passenger and the driver. But the great news is plenty of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of headroom in here. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the dash, the digital dash of this Elantra N. Guys, business time behind Robert's Elantra N. I like the way you got the little thin end sill plate here. Nothing too gaudy, looks great. I love the pedal box, more so than in the GR Corolla pedal box, just because you get a nice large aluminum dead pedal, the clutch, the brake, and the throttle, all in aluminum. And then you'll also notice the seats, the bolstering is more intense in this Elantra N, but once you get in, it's like Cinderella putting on the slipper. It was just meant to be, and it just transforms you. Maybe it won't make you look better, but you'll definitely feel better as you're driving. Steering wheel, love it. The leather, two-piece leather, the blue performance stitching. You got your automatic red match downshift that you could turn on and off very easily. The N logos, you could go into your N mode very easily. It is manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you got that digital gauge display. In N mode, you could see just all the awesome information. And I love how the tack, right around the perimeter of the tack, that's gonna be your rev lights. And it gives you all that great information and lets you know how you have everything set up in the custom mode setting, which is a nice touch. The one zonk is that right there, the Death Star. I don't like this whole piece of black plastic. I feel like just taking it and ripping it right out. Obviously, this is Robert's car. I don't want to do that to him, but this is unnecessary waste of space. But other than that, very driver focused in here. We got two more places I want to show you, and then guess what? We're gonna be going on throttle in Robert's Elantra N. Hey guys, backseat time, and I'm telling you right now, what's great about these cars is that with 4 doors, sharing is caring. You get to share that experience with your friends and scare the hell out of them down your favorite twisty road. Definitely in the Elantra N, your friends are gonna be happier back here. There's way more room than a GR Corolla. The back is very simple though. I do like the one-piece backs on the seats. What I am gonna zonk, what the heck is going on here? 21st century, model year 2023, and there's no connectivity, so that's a zonk. But plenty of room. There is no center armrest, and that's because of the bracing that we have behind there. That's another thing that they cut out to save weight. But you know what? It feels good back here. It is comfy. Why don't we go ahead though? Let's check out the trunk space because I'm dying to go on throttle in this Elantra N. Guys, trunk time. Now obviously, this being a sedan has an actual trunk, whereas, go figure, the GR Corolla is a hatchback. It's got that rear hatch, but you'd be surprised. There's a lot of room in here. Open it up, what do we got? Of course, we got Robert's trunk monkey that he never leaves home without in the trunk. And what's crazy is you're gonna get quite a bit of room. You got 14 cubic feet of space back here. Plus you'll notice you got that awesome bright red N performance bracing to stiffen up the rear of the vehicle, but plenty of good trunk space. The GR Corolla has a little bit more with about 17 cubic feet of space, but you know what? There's no denying that you have plenty of room in this Elantra N, even with your own trunk monkey back there. But why don't we go ahead? Robert gave us the keys. He told us go on throttle with his blessing. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get to it in his Elantra N. All right, guys, we are in Robert's 2023 Elantra N. Let's get it out of the way. On throttle. Nice. So one of the biggest things I love about this car is that F word. And no, not that one. Get your mind out of the gutter. I'm talking about fun. It's just a fun car to drive. And that's what I really like about it. Now, you'll notice that the suspension, especially in the sportier setup, is gonna be on the stiffer side for the street. Nothing though that's as harsh as say a Ford Focus RS or even a car like my Honda Civic Type R. I think that for front wheel drive cars, some of the benefits you're gonna have compared to the GR Corolla is that the engine spins up a lot faster. Not only does this have a light flywheel, but it's only driving 2 wheels. So it's gonna spin up a lot faster. I also think that the way that the suspension geometry is that they really have been able to do a good job to give you some really good grip, even though this is not an all-wheel drive car. Obviously, when it comes down to supremacy of grip, it goes to the GR Corolla. There's just no way around that. especially with how the GR Corolla, you could send up to 70% of the power towards the rear wheels or have a 50-50 torque split distribution. Now, I do like all of the technology pieces in here. So the digital gauge display, the infotainment system with the N gauges. What I don't like compared to the GR Corolla is the materials. Even though the GR Corolla doesn't have some of my favorite materials, this one kind of comes in third place if you're looking at the Type R, the GR Corolla, and the Elantra N. But with that being said, where you're putting your hands mostly, which is the steering wheel, feels absolutely phenomenal. Love not only the feel of the materials, but also the feedback, which is really nice. The shifter, basically both cars feel about the same when it comes to the length of the throws and everything. But let's see how that front end grip is. On throttle, here we go. Nice. As you can see, it really held the line. I was actually able to turn down into that other lane while we were accelerating. And one thing that I do really like are the automatic rev match system in this thing. The rev match downshift feature is so well laid out. It works really, really well in this vehicle. Another nice thing about this car, it's got pretty good clutch modulation. And the seats, I love the seats in this car. I think they really do a great job of holding you in place, and they are fairly comfortable. I think that the GR Corolla seats don't have as heavy as bolster. Remember, we're talking about just GR Corolla core trim. The entry-level trim does not have as aggressive bolstering. And I feel like you actually sit in the seat rather than on it. Not all cars are like that. I know that may sound like common sense, but not all the cars are like that. The amount of information on the digital display is phenomenal. And of course the sound. I mean, there's no way around that. The sound in this car really makes it all come together. On throttle, here we go. Great feedback through the steering wheel. And yes, even though we don't have Brembo brakes, braking is still quite good, especially when you're driving on the street. Remember, we did do that track day with Hyundai where we were able to turn some laps, and still the brakes were really good. Now the big question is, would they have been better with some Brembos? We'll have to find out. But the sound is what really wins me over in this car. That's the best part of it. On throttle. Love the way the dash changes colors when you're going through the rev range. And there's plenty of room in the pedal box, even for people with larger feet like myself. You know what they say about large feet, right? No, not that. Large shoes. But the downshifts are good. Just gotta watch out for the action in front of you. And the big talk about that is that the A-pillars are very far apart to where you get some really great visibility out the front of the vehicle. Just the sound is worth the price of admission. And remember, this is less. This costs less than the GR Corolla. Really does not make sense, but something that Hyundai is able to definitely get around with this car. All right, guys, let's see how the car handles around a nice long bend. On throttle, here we go. Look at this. Really, really nice, composed. It's a ton of fun, and I'm telling you, at the price point, I don't know what else you could possibly get at this price point, and knowing that there's many dealers out there where you're not going to have markup, which is important to take into consideration. All right, guys, it's been one of those fun, slick shifting kind of days in this Elantra N. We definitely got to thank Robert for allowing us access to his brand new baby. He just got this just a couple weeks ago. Let me know what you think. Would you go the way Robert did, save yourself some money, Go Elantra N, or are you willing to spend a bit more and go the all-wheel drive route with the GR Corolla? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radius Rides family. We got to give it up to Stephen Flood. Stephen Flood Photography. Most of the time he likes to road through his own gears, unless he's going for the ultimate track time. That's when he wants a dual clutch automatic transmission. So show him some love in that comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.